thought I'd give you an overview of what it would be like to actually use this follow-up tool and use the contact follow-ups in on one of the restaurants. So if I looked up my follow-ups for today and I clicked on Lemongrass Thai Restaurant, which needs to be contacted, I would more than likely go down to this box here, and I can post a private note about an interaction, like I didn't get the feeling that they're interested, but I'm sending something anyway. But more than likely, I would log a contact with them, and that could be either a phone call or an in-person visit, and then I would choose one of the items in these radio buttons, and then I would log the type of contact and then whether or not they're a supporter, and at that point I can decide how I want to add them to the list of restaurants that said yes, or add them to the list of restaurants that said no, that they're not going to be part of the event. The other thing I just wanted to show very quickly, so this is kind of what that record would look like, but I wanted to show you a little bit more of a complete record so you kind of get an idea of how the mailing lists are maintained as well. Now, not only can we use the workflow and follow-up feature to manage the restaurant lists and who's been contacted, who has not, and who has decided to log in. These are things that are tools that Anne or Louise or Todd can each use to manage the contacts, the donations that people have put in, and any kind of additional follow-up that needs to be done that it would be outside the restaurant outreach program. So I'll just kind of give you an idea of what a contact looks like. So if I click on Anne, this has most of her pertinent information. I can go in and I can edit her contact information. I can assign a different point person to her here. I can also edit her multiple addresses that she may have associated with work and business and maybe nonprofit work, things like that. You'll see you have several choices under here where you can track address and contact information. And then under finances, unfortunately we don't have any donors in here, but this is where we would be able to see, well, actually, in fact, I believe Anne did a test of the PayPal page, and she has donated $25, and you can see the date and the time. Now, obviously, if we'd had this set up completely, you'd have more tracking information as well. But in here you can donate, you can track the donations that she's made. You can set it up so that people can make pledges. And then of course you would see their total. And what's interesting, one of the other features that you may or may not be interested in using is there is an invoicing and a payments module. But in my experience, it's not something that I've actually used. So going on to take a look at some of the other contact tabs, you'll see that we can manage our profiles, which this comes in when we start, if we wanted to post Twitter or Facebook postings from our own ID on the End World Hunger social media stream. So we would manage it all in one place. As far as her network is concerned, we can go, that's a little bit more detail oriented, I won't go into, but you will see under relationships that we have Anne as a member of the End World Hunger organization. And in fact, all of us who are in here as individual contacts are part of the organization. It's just one way to organize the information. On Social Capital, this is where we track her activity on social media. So this is what would allow us to see who has the biggest Twitter followers, who has the biggest Facebook likes, and we can actually reward people based on how much they've shared information about End World Hunger. And so that's pretty much I'm going to wrap it up as far as individual contacts are concerned. But there is one more nice feature in the dashboard, which you've probably noticed, is that it also allows us to track who has already followed us on Twitter and Facebook. And as I was discussing with Anne last week, we believe Roger Throw is already following us on social media because we followed him right off the bat. But this is a really handy way to kind of get an overview of what all has been going on in the most recent activity. And then over here on the right-hand side, it kind of gives an overview of most earned political capital. And that's a combination of how much they've donated to us and then how much they've shared about us on social media. So hopefully that's a good overview. Feel free to call me if you